All right, October 30th, week 10 of the college football season. We're back for another early pick ahead of this weekend's action with the man himself, Brad Powers. Before we get into last week's pick, what went on there, and give out this week's pick, I want to remind everybody that this show is sponsored by BetStamp. The easiest way to improve as a sports bettor is by using multiple sports books and always getting the best odds. We recommend using an odds comparison tool like BetStamp to help you do so. BetStamp compares odds across every sportsbook, whether it's for games, futures, or player props. You can save time and money by checking BetStamp before you bet, so make sure to download the app today. You can also sign up on web if that is your preferred method. If you are looking to sign up for a new sportsbook account, please check out the offers available at betstamp.app/hitthebooks. If you sign up through this link, it does help support the show. That's betstamp.app/hitthebooks. You can also hit the link in the description, so make sure to check that out. But Brad, let's talk about first and foremost last week's game. We take Army -9.5, closes at -10 in most respectable places out there. And then they lose outright. What went on last week with Army and the movement of that number throughout the week?
Well, obviously it jumped up to 10 right after we did the show on Monday morning, stayed at 10 for a majority of the week. Then Friday came off of 10 down to 9.5. And it was all just pure speculation about the Army's quarterback, whether or not he would play. And that carried right over into even game day. Where it was reported early on game day that he'd be a game time decision. He went through warmups and he played. He didn't necessarily start. He split some reps, but he played. The problem is Daly, the Army quarterback, didn't play well through 2 end zone interceptions. Not that I'm saying that would have been the difference in us covering or not, because obviously we took a significant favorite and they lost the game outright. I thought the entire Army team played like crap, but yeah, it was all just pure speculation on the Army quarterback. We saw a ton of over money come in early in the week on the market, probably anticipating that he would play. Then we saw late week under money. So a peculiar game. I thought we'd get ahead of the injury news. It ended up being right that he would play, but didn't play well. Army didn't play well, and we had a loser here. So it dropped us to 7-4 on the season.
Yeah. Well, I mean, talk about going to 7-4 on the season. It's one thing we've seen throughout a couple of the picks given out here on this Monday morning show, but more so in the Monday afternoon and Friday afternoon 5 p.m. shows here. I see a comment here from 1HP saying CLV is broken this year. Just briefly, can you touch on kind of what's going on with closing line this year? Does it just mean a little bit less so far this season? Like, how do you kind of evaluate the CLV that we've gotten and kind of the results going the other way for us?
I don't know if it's broken. It's definitely broken in my portfolio. So I don't know. It's probably too small of a sample size. Although, I mean, obviously hit the books. We've had good CLV. We had another good portfolio this past week, and they had another losing week. I mean, I take it even further. I have my own personal betting openers and whatnot at Circa and some of the other books. I mean, I'm at a 500-plus game sample size with an average of more than 2 points per game of closing line value, and I am 50%. So right. I don't know how to explain it. I am getting more CLV than what I've done in previous years, but the winning percentage is down 5-6%. Look, 500 games is not a small sample, but 1 year is a small sample. So I don't know what it is, and the year's not over with yet. I've seen sometimes where everybody gives up all hope, and we still got a month left. And then all of a sudden, not only turns around, and then some. It turns around. All those breaks that you didn't get all season. Yeah, you start having 10-3 type weeks, which I hope is the case moving forward for Hit the Books. So I need an off season to really dive into what the hell is going on in the market. I will say this: It's a very peculiar market. I mean, don't believe me? We're 6 a.m. here in Vegas. That board is lit up. So it's there's much different market entries than ever before. And even guys like myself have much more different market influence than ever before. Not that necessarily that we deserve it. We influence markets because of social media and whatnot a lot more significantly than what we did 4 or 5 years ago.
All right, well, let's get into today's pick. But before we do, I want to remind everybody, if you're watching right now and you haven't hit that like button, please make sure to hit like. Help support the show, support the channel, support the content that we continue to put out here, which does allow us to continue to make much more like this. So hit that like button, subscribe here to the Hit the Books HQ YouTube channel. But for those looking for this week's pick, I'll help set it up here so far. So we're going to go and look for Saturday, November 4th. We're looking in the 10 p.m. time region, and we will be looking at rotation numbers 425 Boise State against 426 Fresno State. Brad, people know where to go right now, which game they're looking at, but what is the pick that we're looking at for week 10 of the college football season?
Yep, you're scrolling all the way down to the bottom. For those of you that haven't gotten there yet, I'm going to give you an extra 10 seconds. So 425, we are taking Boise State. We're taking Boise State plus the 3.5 here. And number one, let's start off with the power rating. 2 is my power rating on this game. So right through a very significant key number of 3. And what am I seeing? Why are my power ratings different than the market right now? I think it's mainly due to the Boise State side of things. This is a Boise State team that's kind of had a hard luck season. They're 4-4. Keep in mind they lost on a Hail Mary play against Colorado State a few weeks ago, a game that they led by 20 with 5 minutes left. I probably didn't penalize them as much as the rest of the market in that game. They lost on a last-second field goal against UCF early in the season. They had a blocked field goal return for a touchdown against Memphis in a game they ended up losing by 3. So it's a pretty tough luck Boise State team that I think is a little bit better than their 4-4 record. They played a tougher schedule than Fresno State. And I also like what I saw from Boise State off the bye last week. They played a good Wyoming team and smashed them by 25. Speaking of Wyoming, that's the only team that's beat Fresno State so far this year. And Fresno last week got their quarterback back. There was some market influencers that liked UNLV. I'm here to tell you they were right, because UNLV not once but twice in the fourth quarter had a chance to tie the game inside the 10-yard line and came up with a goose egg on both possessions. So Fresno a little overrated, Boise underrated. That's why my power ratings too. That's why I see value here, plus 3.5 on the Broncos late night on Saturday night.
All right, there you go. There's the pick. Boise State plus 3.5. I do see a comment there, Mike. HSU saying Boise plus 4 MGM. Yeah, shop around, get some of the better prices available if you can find those. But this is what we're going to go with because this is more widely available at the plus 3.5. That is the widely available number. So we do track that here in the BetStamp app. You can find us in the Find Better section as Hit the Books HQ. So if you want to track all the picks from the course of this season, you can find us in there. If you did enjoy the show here today, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe here to the channel. We do appreciate it. It does help continue to grow the channel, grow the show, allow us to do some more stuff. So, Brad, thank you for taking the time to do this here this morning. To everyone in the chat, thank you guys for showing up. Hopefully we see you guys. We got a couple more shows coming up throughout the day here. Edge Work with myself, Alex Moretto, So Money, giving out hockey picks. Then the Board NBA with Jacob Gramenya, and Pips NBA coming up after that. And then this afternoon, the main show, Brad Powers, Joey Knish, 5 p.m. Eastern time. You don't want to miss it, so make sure to turn on notifications. We will see you guys then. Enjoy your days, and we'll see you back here, 5 p.m. Eastern time.